Like they've tried everything under the sun.
You're not just trying to be efficient, right? Good.
It just seems like there's these super bugs now.
Right. I haven't seen you guys since October, right?
Like,
Yeah.
it's been a long time.
Yeah, it's been a long. Surprising, only 3 applications.
Days are getting longer. At the end of the month, we'll have added
Maybe we'll get some snow.
yeah.
Yeah.
It is a bit odd.
It's not very often that we have a split board decision, but that was
When was that?
on the sign match. You weren't.
Freddie Cornelius sign?
Yeah, you weren't. Or did you abstain?
No, I was in Florida. My-
Nice, I don't want to hear. I don't wanna hear that.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thanks for.
Well, I gotta tell you, Kev, I think you got, I know I voted the other way, but I think you guys made the right decision.
Yeah,
I don't know, I gotta drive.
I went and revisited
I
it
gotta
again and
drive by
again,
it
and I
every day,
looked
and
and
I
said,
don't-
you know what, I was wrong on how I interpreted it. I
Yeah.
think you guys nailed it.
You can't see the thing.
It was good.
you can't.
This was one of
You
them.
can't read it.
Oh, that's not helpful.
I know.
Well, first up, the first 6 times we drove by it, I like, what is that?
Didn't even notice it.
No, it was there. We're like,
Curiosity.
well, one was, what is it for?
You gotta stop.
That's gonna be, you're worried about line of sight. You're gonna actually have somebody stop on the road.
Yeah.
Can't read the sign.
I don't
Well,
think
there,
anybody's
yeah,
gonna-
well, we can't control that part of it. Okay, that looked okay.
But what happened with the Everest thing? Went through.
Yeah,
Yeah, went through. Actually, it was
in the.
it was
folks who-
long.
I mean, I
The,
read.
the same folks who spoke. I thought at least that was kind of respectful and it
Yeah.
wasn't like.
It was much better than the previous.
Yeah, where was, but what was the one we had where it wasn't even Everest? There was something where. The people complaining about it were just
No, it was Everest.
unruly.
It was Everest.
They were unruly, but then I feel like they were just resigned to it passing and the.
I might have been. on it too.
No, I
They were
get
still
it.
speaking up, but
Yeah,
it
they were.
wasn't quite as. Well, I thought you did a good job keeping in check too, David.
Yeah, and I thought the way it landed on the motion being right was right too. At first, Jerry had it with, I forgot what we was calling a large event. Worked out to be maybe a few extra
Oh,
cars,
yeah.
right?
All right,
Ultimately.
let's call it to order. Let's be right on time. We'll call the meeting to order. First item on the agenda, minutes from last meeting. Everybody have a chance to, I haven't reviewed them very carefully, but it just glanced over them. Anybody have any changes, additions, deletions?
The tiny typo, Lori. You did a really good job with these, by the way. The motion for the Everest Park special use, it just says Jerry made a motion to amend instead of to, it's the
Oh, say that again, the amend part,
motion. For the Everest, Jerry made a motion to amend the,
and so I forgot the,
yeah, it says two instead. of-
Yeah, and two, it says two instead of
gotcha.
Yep.
I will change
Pretty
that.
time considering all this.
Yeah, considering how long these minutes are, I can't believe it. All right, do we have a motion to accept the minutes?
I mean, or a second, I'm sorry.
Okay, first item on today's agenda were an application by Norman Clord of 103 Burtis Point.
Did we just vote on that motion or we?
Oh,
just-
I thought we did.
Oh, we're doing unanimous.
I'm sorry, you doing roll call? Okay, I thought everybody just sort
That's
of,
all right,
We could
Steve,
either.
Yes.
Kathy?
Yeah.
Tim?
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes,
You're
I mean, I wasn't here, but
right, you're abstaining?
yeah. I'm sorry.
yeah,
And then Dave.
yes. I'm sorry, I thought everybody just sort of raised
You
their
could
hand.
watch it, Mike, and then.
No,
Only 2.5 hours.
Okay, yeah, it's housekeeping. What do you want? Okay, first item on the agenda is an application by Norman Plord, 103 Burtis Point. Seeking an area variance and extension of a non-conforming lot line setback and north and south side of the existing residence to accommodate additions and enclosed space.
I don't know. So we're gonna do the annual meeting, is that okay, or do you wanna save that?
Oh, I'm sorry, you have something else on the agenda for it?
Under the, yeah, it's up to you, you can do it at the end. or you can
We'll do it at the end.
Very good.
Do it at the
Okay.
end. Let's get the folks out of here.
Yeah.
And do their thing and. We have a representative for the Plurids here. Then, okay, we'll hold that one in abeyance. Next item on the agenda. An application. Excuse me, by Anthony Moran of 6 Stryker Avenue, Auburn, New York, tax map 123-11-3-61, seeking a building coverage variance. With a front yard setback variance of 28 feet due to existing site conditions to construct an addition to an existing single-family dwelling. Anybody here to speak? Come on up. Have a seat at the head of the table. Why don't you just kind of give us an overview of what you're intending?
Sure. We would like to just kind of square the house up, kind of has a bump out, and then there's a staircase that, you know, kind of goes up to the front door. We'd like to remove the staircase, square the house off, and get the front door on the side of the house. They'll have a covered porch, and then we're gonna tear off the entire lid, down to the first plate and retruss it. And so that having a small 700 square foot house there, you're gonna have, you know, a 1,400 square foot house there. It's gonna look obviously a lot better than it does. Our intentions are probably redo the garage in the same capacity in terms of size and shape that it is now. Redo the entire home from pretty much everything, and then get some trees out of there that don't look too great, clean it up from the landscaping perspective. And I think I'm just gonna put my mother there, so she can be, you know, 5 minutes away from my house, so.
Yeah, it doesn't look like there's any major change here. I mean, in terms of the physical structure, you know,
The footprint,
the
right?
footprint of the house.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the setback from the road, it should be exactly the same as the other portion of the house. We just want to really square it up so that we can open it up and actually make it.
So it's not really any closer. I mean,
No.
so it doesn't conform now and it's not gonna conform when you do the addition. And it'll look a whole lot better. Yeah, I get
My
it.
mom drove by the other day, she goes, I hope you have a vision. I said, yeah, I think we'd be okay.
So say if you're gonna go to a second story, some of those trees probably
Well,
have to,
we're gonna leave it with the same type of roof line,
oh, okay,
but we're gonna put a couple dormers in,
gotcha.
which is gonna really open it up there where you can get, you know, full bedroom up there with a, you know, full bath and then, you know, laundry, walk-in closet.
I mean,
a couple of them.
You know, as terms of variances are concerned, actually, every application tonight are relatively small compared to what we've seen. So, I mean, we're talking about, let's see, height is fine. Setback from the road is basically the same.
Now, to the right, is that gonna change, or as you go farther down Stryker? Obviously, the garage is there, but that's what I couldn't really follow. You say you're putting the porch on
That's
that
just
side,
a covered porch.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll
but it's in
probably-
the,
Gonna be added on, right? That's not there now.
That's not there.
that's what I mean. So the house will go slightly farther over, but still,
House would be, yeah, like, for example, can I see this little corner?
yeah.
Yeah, let's take a
So like, for example, so right now, the footprint, you know, you can see the dotted line.
Mhm.
This is, you know, a staircase
Yeah.
going up to the front. And we just want to square it off, and then we're not changing anything on the outer wall. We just want to pour, you know, a piece of concrete and just bring the roof down and over as a
Oh.
covered area.
Yeah,
we
so
can
it's
have front-
really not much of it. I mean, you know, in terms of change, there's not really much.
So
going on.
Patrick didn't have any concern with the distance from the,
No,
It's not changing because of-
that's not really changing from, you're talking from the road.
no, distance to the garage, because you know, out of the other structures, sometimes we
Yeah.
gotta have a.
4 feet and stuff.
So you-
Yeah, Patrick
Okay.
didn't express any concern on that.
You're not gonna attach it to the garage, are you?
Absolutely not, no, no, I just.
Well,
want
as long
to-
as there's room
The,
for, you know,
The
getting
garage,
around
we're
it.
gonna just rebuild what's like.
I think there is Mike Palmieri was supposed to put in the paperwork to build a new garage, but
Okay.
I think we're gonna make it more conducive to just one vehicle.
Mhm.
So the depth may be a little bit less, and I mean, I just really wanted to be able to put one car in there and call it a day, you know, I think it might be a little oversized.
They're tiny, yeah,
We
they're
were
tiny.
wondering about that, like whether we could just give it to you now and just, yeah, do the line now. Like give them the variance now, so it's done.
Basically, it's a foundation.
He knows
is there
he's
a
doing it.
foundation under it? I mean,
I don't think so.
okay,
just
I
don't
mean,
think
if the
there's-
foundation stayed, then you're really not changing. the
I
Changing
think
it.
it's just dirt, honestly,
Okay.
with what they have now.
Well, the only issue with that, Kath, is if Patrick looked, if you end up going to redo the garage completely, Patrick may say that the building code in terms of
Okay.
space between is
Yeah, because right
different.
now is
There used to
you're
be supposed to be
changing
a separation for
10
building,
feet, I thought.
uniform building code
Mhm.
between the
How much, 10 feet?
structures.
I think it's 10 feet.
I'm
It's like- yeah, I
surprised
think
he
it's
didn't catch
10.
that then. Cause that isn't in our variance, is it?
What's that?
The amount of space between the house and
No,
the.
Pat did not.
Yeah, and I don't
address
think it's
that.
I don't think it's a town code issue. I think that's a
It's
building.
a
code
building
issue.
code
I
issue,
think
yeah.
for-
I see, it's not up to us then.
And yeah.
Okay, so
yeah,
that could be
Exactly.
why it's not, all right.
We can add to an existing application anyway.
We can't,
What exists in that, yeah, pretty much.
I guess what I was, when you're saying
Are we
it's
allowed to
coming
add
over,
some
right now, the
existing
house does go straight.
Pardon?
You're
Are we
looking to
allowed
come
to
over
add
farther, or there's
additional
something over there.
variances to
That's what I couldn't.
existing?
I just.
I don't
wanted to
think,
put-
I don't think so. That's why,
Cover
that's why,
here.
I think we are, I think we
Okay.
are, but I don't think it's a good idea.
well, in.
So it
this
would be
case,
covered
it's
going
questionable.
down to, like, just an open porch?
That's all,
Okay.
with just a couple columns, you know, a header.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's why Patrick was looking at it that way. You're talking basically a cement slab.
Oh, right.
No,
so
he's saying like a porch, the
it's
open.
Covered,
Oh,
Covered.
yeah,
okay.
Cement slab, column, and just the roof line would come and continue to go. I'm just gonna use standard.
So that's-
I mean, as long as Patrick's okay with that,
Right.
you know, and he didn't flag any issues with it. I mean, we're not any closer, and actually.
Yeah, no, I mean, as far as the neighbors.
there's only
go,
in-
there's nothing-
In terms of
there's no more
neighbors, it's not gonna be
neighbor.
forward
Yeah.
of the location, at least my site inspection, there's only one, right? Well,
There's only one.
only one neighbor, and that's
Yeah.
out that length.
and this isn't going toward the neighbor.
No, because of the garage.
Yeah, because it's just, it's.
Yeah, it doesn't-
It's just not,
Okay, so that increases that by.
yeah, so it's a little bit better. Because right now it's so tight. back
Yeah,
there.
so I don't see any change in the character of the neighborhood or anything.
Well, there's a
of that
change,
nature.
but it's a good.
Yeah, well, no, and no detrimental, negative change to the character of neighbor.
Well,
Maybe that's a
it's a
better way to say it.
None of the, it's already, like you said, it's non-conforming now,
Yeah.
and we're not making it any worse.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, anybody have any additional question? I mean, this is pretty.
You're gonna gutter it.
Oh, it's got it already.
Alright.
Yeah, we're gonna totally go through the entire house.
I mean, the gutters, water.
Oh, yeah, on
God.
either side.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%.
I'd like to open this up to the floor. Anybody here to speak for or against this proposal? Okay, I'll let the record reflect there's no one to speak either for or against. Any additional questions? I mean, as variances go,
Pretty easy,
this is about as easy a one we've ever seen.
literally just squaring it up.
Yeah, just
and
squaring the house up.
Adding a.
It's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody got a motion?
Oh, God, I got it. I'll make a motion to grant Anthony Moran of 6 Striker Ave, Auburn, New York, town of Owasco, tap map number 123.11-3-61 under section 150 table of dimensional requirements for the following variances in order to build a second story addition on the above home. The front yard variance for 27 feet, required is 50, existing is 23. The rear yard variance of 24.5 feet, required code now is 40 feet, we have an existing of 15.5. A side yard variance on the east side of 5 feet, the required is 15 feet, and we have 10 feet right now. A building coverage increase of 6.6%, the existing coverage is 25%, and proposed to go to 26.6. The town of Owasco's code is 20%. In granting these variances, zoning board took into consideration the benefit to the applicant is weighted against the health, safety, and welfare of the neighborhood. In doing so, the board has determined the following: proposed addition stays within the existing building lines of the home, with the exception of the covered porch. There'll be no undesirable change to the neighborhood. The home is in need of repairs, and this will be an improvement for the property and the surrounding properties. A hardship exists given that the home was built under prior zoning regulations, which is allowed for lot size and building setbacks. It is reasonable the owners would want to improve their home. There is no one here to speak against.
I second. I have a quick question.
Sure.
So in the application, it says 28 foot front yard. Was that
Okay.
just, I
Well,
don't,
they had, it shows,
I don't know if he was trying to give him an extra or if it just, the math.
we can, that's all right.
I don't know,
I just want
does it
to know what's
matter?
here. It was
Yeah,
23 back.
it shouldn't matter, right?
It shows 23 on this, on the map, so I just wanted that, but if you want to make it
Yeah, that
28,
makes
give them extra room, I don't care.
Yeah, I said, right, with 50,
It's 50-foot setback.
yeah, 50-foot setback, so the
Yes.
variance is.
He did 27. It asked for 28. I'm just asking. if-
Yeah, you know what, let's do it just in case.
for it.
Yeah,
They did the 28 feet variance. for
yeah, in case there's something, site condition, you were not coming back over a foot. You know, there's a reason, you know, they put these things in here, and you know, we may not appreciate it just yet.
It happens.
Okay.
We have a vote,
Got Jim and Kathy, how about Steve?
Yes.
Yes.
Jim? Jim,
Yes,
Tom,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
and David.
yes. Okay, that'll close out the Moran hearing. You could go
Thank you.
talk to Patrick, whatever you
Yeah,
need
yeah.
next.
Yeah.
And we'll go from there.
I'm trying to get there. I'm gonna try to get J and M to go ahead and get started, get him
Yeah.
free.
He won't be there for the conference until Thursday.
Here's his chance.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Yeah, good luck.
No, you're good. No, you can just, you already say no.
Thank you. Thanks again.
Okay.
I just got through it.
Okay, next item on the agenda, the application of Claire Flynn, 335 Denman Cove, tax map 145-06-1-15. Seeking a building coverage variance of 10.6% along with a side back variance of 6 foot. On the south side, to extend the existing first floor shed roof flush with the side of the existing house. And also seeking believe a green space variance of 16.6%. Come on up. Grab the extra chair and.
They are.
Hi, how are you?
Not very.
Okay, well, why don't you just explain what you're doing? I mean, it's pretty evident from these plans. Basically, you're squaring up the building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the last application.
Sounds familiar.
It's unusual we get 2 of these in one night, but we're kind of grateful that, you know, it's like that. So basically, you're not going any closer to the neighbors to the south. Really, I mean, you're just standing along the same building line.
Right.
And on the lake side, you because of the house tilt, you're 6.8 feet from the lot line. And because of the tilt of the house, this will be roughly 9 feet
Yeah.
further away than, even though we're extending the building out, it's going to be further away than the corner of the lakeside. Yeah. So obviously that adds to the, we don't have a height issue. I mean, anybody see,
In the application, it says extension of existing first floor shed roof, but it just means the roof itself.
the roof line
Yeah,
itself, yeah.
that, yeah. So it says shed, and I'm like, what are we talking about here? So I got
Roof,
confused, but-
maybe
Of the
he
roof,
wrote it, the
house,
shed, yeah, roof shed, shed roof.
Oh, yeah. Shed roof.
Sorry, you know. terminology.
Yes.
There's gonna be gutters on it, of course,
Yeah,
not directed towards your neighbors.
no, they actually go into the ground and.
Yeah, you were telling me about that underneath
Yeah.
there. Right.
So what are we doing? I mean, see, the thing is, it's funny, I mean, the building coverage. We're going up less than 1%.
Oh, really?
Well, see, what happens is, we're only allowed 10, but it doesn't conform now.
Right.
So we're only going up from existing basically 1%.
Right.
I mean, the way I'm.
Yeah,
looking
you're at
it.
19.8, going, not even a percent, 20.6%.
And in terms of the green space. You already violate because of the small lot lines and on Denman Cove and what have you. I mean, these zoning things came into effect. After the lot lines were set and a lot of the houses were in. And so that 80% rule. If you were building new, it wouldn't fly, but since they're pre-existing and non-conforming already. It kind of hems you in what you can do a little bit. So
Do we need to give the south side yard setback when, to your point, Dave, the home's 6.8?
well,
If
Pat,
it-
yeah, Pat, I hear what you're saying. Pat thought we should do it just
Okay.
for purpose because it's new.
Right.
That we should give the variance just so that later on, if somebody else that came and questioned what these folks were doing, that we didn't look like we were not doing what we were supposed to.
Yeah, it's just odd that it's not.
You don't want somebody
It's
coming
not
later on and
extending
say,
any
wait a
closer
minute.
to the,
We usually give that
Okay.
Yeah,
anyway.
when we square up decks, we do the same.
no, that's right.
So, I mean,
It is redundant, but.
And the square footage isn't even.
the one thing I can't understand
100
on
and-
Mike's calculations, and maybe one of you board members can straighten me out. When you look at the green space that's existing. You see it's 64.2 listed,
Yeah,
and then the proposed, when we're adding space. It's less, 63.4, unless there's, and I was scratching my head over that, how
yeah, because he should have.
there's more
added
green
100.
space when we're putting addition.
Yeah, it's 134 square foot addition. He should have taken, it should be
It should be-
9,284 square feet,
Oh, I see.
9,284. I think his percentage still is right. Right, so if you take the
Well,
9,000,
taking it off instead of adding, it looks
Yeah.
like.
so if you took the 9,284 divided by what he should have. Or no, where's the lot size? The 14.
Yeah, I just couldn't figure out how it ends
Yeah,
up,
I think you just,
how it ends up a smaller percentage.
I think you subtracted that.
yeah, I did, yeah. Where's the calculator on this thing? Yeah, because if you
Where you're
take,
decreasing the green space. The green spaces,
Right,
all right, so you're right, it's
80.
1950
like there's
minus
more.
134.
And then the proposed is gonna be
no,
less.
that's right.
Oh,
That's right,
okay,
Dave.
okay, I
Yeah,
had it
that's right.
flipped.
Because you're
Okay,
getting rid of it.
yeah, okay, by
Yeah. We're
All
going
right,
the other
thank
way.
you, Mike.
getting
That's
rid
why it's so
of, getting rid of
confusing.
green space.
getting rid of it, okay.
Only a little bit though.
Yeah, I mean-
It's like,
Again,
Barely.
barely, not, I mean, it's very small here. And I mean, I don't see any change to the detriment of any neighbors here at all. Not affecting views. Doesn't change the character of the neighborhood in any adverse way. Anybody see any issues here? I mean, this
No.
is more pro forma, I think, than.
Nope.
Let me open to the floor. Anybody here to speak for or against this proposal? Let the record reflect there is no one. Anybody else have any questions? Anybody have a motion?
I have a motion.
Go for
A
it.
motion to grant the applicant Claire Flynn. Would you like to be on the applicant also, or it's
Tom,
Claire and Tom Flynn of 335 Denman Cove? THOM
just TLM.
of 335 Denman Cove, Owasco, New York. Tax map 145.06-1-15 has requested a 6-foot side yard area variance and a building coverage area variance of 10.6% and a green space variance of 16.6% to construct an addition to an existing single-family dwelling to square up the back southwest corner of the house. Under the table of dimensional requirements, section 150, attachment 1 of the code of the town of Owasco. I'm making the motion for a 6-foot side yard area variance, a building coverage area variance of 10.6% and a green space variance of 16.6%. While the hardship is self-created, the board finds the request to be reasonable. Homes and lots in this area of the town were constructed prior to the present zoning codes. Thus, many of the lots are narrow, requiring a variance to be able to achieve building any new structures or additions. In making this determination, the board came to the took into the account the health, welfare, and safety to the community. In doing so, we have determined the following: there will be no undesirable change to the character of the neighborhood. Other properties in the area have similar situations due to the narrowness of lots, and these are the minimum variances necessary to achieve the desired purpose of increasing the square footage of the existing dwelling.
A second, I have a question on that.
Was
Did
that
you-
southeast?
Yeah.
Sorry,
Southeast,
southeast corner.
yes, southeast corner.
And did
Okay.
you say square up the home? I missed that part,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I think I did.
I
Yes,
think
you
you did, I just missed it.
Is that okay?
sorry. Yeah, that was good.
So.
Laura?
Steve,
Yes,
Kathy?
Yeah.
Tim,
Yes,
Don,
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, sorry about having to drag you in for things like this, but
No.
it's safer than sorry
works.
on those people. Well. What happens is, if you don't do it, then somebody later on down the line will say, wait a minute, this wasn't properly approved, and then you got a headache.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you decide you're gonna ultimately sell it,
Especially on the
it's
lake.
better to paint by the numbers. So you're good to go. Thank you.
very much.
Yeah.
Two easy ones tonight.
Easiest lakefront one we've had since I joined.
I know, it's like, wow, this is
Views and people are.
this is so unusual on a lakefront.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nobody, there's no blood being spilled.
you know what that's a lot
Okay.
of work. I don't know what they'll get on the inside. It's a lot of work for 114 square feet.
Well, I think because that whole room kind of comes down, I think it's gonna. You're gonna have more
Yeah, okay.
space. Probably be able to square up rooms.
Yeah,
upstairs,
inside, yeah, it could be.
Okay, first we'll close out that.
Yep, I did
You,
that.
you closed it out? Perfect. And next item on the agenda is the application of Norman Clerd. Come on up. Let me,
My apologies. We have tried to sign in on Zoom and none of us got in and so like.
there's been a problem or
so we
issue
could
with
hear
it.
you, but we couldn't like communicate with you. So I hopped in the car. Well, I changed my clothes.
Well,
quickly and hopped in the car and drove.
Well, thank you. Yeah, we opened with you, but we held it. And thank you for making the track. There's been some technology issue. So you could hear it.
Yeah, we could hear it. We just couldn't like say, hey, we're here.
Oh, no, then I should have, I was on there at the time of 7 o'clock and nobody was on.
Yeah, we both were signed in and could hear, like I had it on my phone the
Yeah.
whole way here. But like we signed in, we could hear it. And we like tried to raise our hand
You
and
know
tried
if
to.
they're on there
comment.
now?
Yeah, they said they were still on.
Let me go see if we'll let them in.
So there's two participants in it.
That's right here.
Right, we got anybody?
No, oh, this is set.
Participant.
It's just a whole.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's just showing.
I guess they said just starting the other day with the planning meeting, it wasn't working either.
Oh,
I think it might be zoning today.
What was that?
I will amend, they're there.
oh, there they are.
But they're typing. They're typing. So for whatever reason, Mr. Cornelius, I said I will ask him to look into this.
Yeah, we can't have that. I mean,
Yeah,
we
it just seems.
like folks being.
So
able
we'll
to-
just grill you with all the things.
Can I call them and have them?
Oh, yeah, I think you put them on. speaker.
Absolutely, call and we'll. And while you're doing that, I'll just put on the record, okay, so this is the application of Norman Plurd, 103 Burtis Point Road, Owasco, tax map 138-03-2-12. Seeking an area variance and extension of existing non-conforming lot line setbacks on the north and south sides of the existing residence to accommodate additions and enclosed space and covered porches. And do we have,
Yes, Norm,
So-
Norm is on the.
okay, we
Can you
actually,
hear them, Joe?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Mr. Plord, can you hear us?
yes, I can. Thank
Okay,
you.
here, I'll come down and try to make this a little easier.
So we were in front of you in 2020.
Yeah,
the
we-
pandemic, and then the pandemic hit
Yeah.
and like nothing happened. And then materials became difficult to find, and then they thought about the project for a couple of years and decided that we're gonna just make some minor modifications.
Yeah, I've been
to
by
the
a
design,
number of
so-
times and
Yeah,
didn't
well-
see it happen and was wondering, you
I
know.
kept wondering when it was gonna start too, but they decided that they were, and I
Well,
appreciate
lumber
the
is
thoughtfulness
crazy
on
too,
it.
right?
And this is their family business too, like they've been, you know, been in the business for years.
So what's, why don't you explain the exact change? Because this doesn't look like there was much of a change.
So the two changes are that they added, this little bump out on the porch. So the porch used to be flat across here and just open, and they decided they wanted to have the space be occupiable, so they bumped it out for the 3 feet that's the distance between this corner and the corner of that enclosed porch.
Okay.
Yeah, and what
Right,
direction's that kind of in
So it's on
comparison?
the outside of the building.
Right.
Yeah, it's
right here,
here,
Steve.
yeah.
Okay,
So
So they,
It's
this
further
this
than-
little bump out.
Yeah,
Right.
so you can see it in her drawing.
better.
Yeah, so this portion right here, so from like that.
So, okay, so otherwise it was just more of a walk, you wouldn't be able to really use the
Right,
porch.
it was just a sitting
so
porch.
I highlighted, so this, where was it going before? Because this
It was
was not.
straight.
Straight across here.
So it's very narrow, a little covered narrow thing. So they bumped it out a couple feet to make it more usable.
So it was,
That's exactly how it was,
okay,
and it's just this portion here. So I can show you.
fine, so before though,
as far as the patio.
No.
no,
it's
but
not.
before then it was gonna end with that existing line of the house. Okay.
Right, yeah,
All right, that
and
makes
then
sense.
the other change was the second story portion of the part that was the addition in the first iteration. This was a single story in the first iteration, and we
Okay.
decided to
To go
add
up.
it all the way
But
up.
it's not going any farther.
No, it's not
Not-
going any
not
further
going
out or
close.
anything like that. That's the only modification to the design.
So there's no height variance required.
No, less than
No.
35 feet, so we're good there.
Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, we,
No, no, you're
we,
fine.
we looked at this exhaustively last time, if I'm not mistaken, pre-pandemic. And you actually had to go to planning, right? And you
Yeah.
still have to go to
We
planning.
do, yeah.
Yeah, remember, this is, we don't have to do the seeker, on
Right.
this.
And that was done.
That was-
So-
Yeah, but planning's gotta address this, yeah.
So this
Okay.
would be
Site
an amendment to
yeah.
our original.
We did do
application.
that. Okay, so this is the 13-foot north side, right?
Yes,
No, this is the south side.
That's a,
yeah, so.
Where
Right, kid, right
Did you
here,
bring
it
the-
come out
further.
here, and this
Oh,
is the south
past,
side.
past, yeah, this is the
Yeah.
south side.
So
So
this has
why
the
is there a
breakdown
one
here.
up on the north side?
Well, the north
Oh,
side's over here.
because
Yeah.
it,
There's one
There,
foot
that,
more.
Yeah, because of this small
a
addition.
measurement
This was,
issue?
this was an existing on the on the original, this addition on the east side is the same distance off, but doesn't change any of the setbacks.
Okay,
I don't know what.
so
Bab's
Patrick bumped
talking-
it up 1 foot, but
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, I talked to
Must have
Patrick about that
remeasured
today.
Adding everything.
maybe. Okay, yeah, and so,
Well, we don't want to be here in 2026.
Yeah, so again-
Right.
what were you just showing?
No, so if you're looking at, say this is,
Yeah,
I'm
this.
looking from the neighbor's house, right, this way. The new plan's coming out
Right.
farther here.
From the new house. There's a new,
No,
Yeah, the
No,
new
this
house is
is-
going in next door.
Right.
Yeah, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
yeah, and I went over, I know what you mean, so
Before,
originally it was gonna
do
be
it
flush.
straight.
yeah, straight
It was gonna
across.
be flush, and now it's one.
There's a,
Okay,
And you
but
said
again,
here-
it's still not coming out as far as the patio,
Patio.
which is even further out
Right.
that's
than
right.
that, so,
Yeah, the patio
it-
extends another
Yeah.
4 or 5 feet
Right.
beyond that.
right, so it's really not gonna change much.
It hasn't changed hardly at all,
No.
to be honest with you. We were looking-
It feels like we really needed to honor, I mean, like.
Yeah, but.
Yeah,
No,
but anytime you're closer, Patrick,
This is
again,
like
it's
3 or
safe
4
for
feet,
safety
right? 4
purposes,
feet more than
especially on the lakefront.
Right,
You
yeah.
really
We don't
need,
wanna play games with this.
Yeah.
no, you don't.
No.
And
that's
again,
why
the reason for the one here on the north side was,
I don't understand it,
okay.
to be honest with you.
I think it might have been a mismeasurement of some sort, because there's.
Well, what is our
really no
distance
trees
on the north side to the lot line? Are
Um,
we within the
there.
setback?
I think it's 2'7".
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm looking at the prints, but we have a 1 foot chimney bump out front
Is
side.
that, oh, that's what it is, okay. Yeah, okay.
And we're not going out as far as the existing chimneys, so I didn't even acknowledge that it was something that
Oh.
was there. It was just.
OMG.
I'm
it-
sorry, so that's how,
So
what's
it's
the
being
distance right
rebuilt,
now?
is that,
Yeah, we're taking the chimney and moving it like 6 feet to the east.
that's, okay, that's why. Okay, that would make much more sense, okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot all about the fact that we were changing the location of the fire plant, so. But the existing one is like
Oh,
7
okay.
feet long and 3 feet out, and the new one is like 1.5 feet out. I think the existing one is less than 1 foot off the property line.
Oh, that's where it says proposed chimney.
Right, right there, but it doesn't really. That makes
3
sense.
foot.
I don't see it really affecting it. Again,
No.
that's another situation, not gonna affect views, neighbors in any real way, shape or form. Well, two easy lakefront ones, that's the word first.
It's so weird. Yeah.
Looks
You
great.
better stop.
We're,
Not good.
no, that, you know what that means. So the next one is not gonna be nice.
I'm away, no.
Probably one of the ones that I have coming next.
So it is close though on the north, I'm
That
sorry, the north
north side is
side.
very close to
Okay.
the property line, and we avoided any kind of, you know.
Yeah, but
Work on
to
that
your
side
point
for the
though,
most
it's,
We're
we're not
extending
granting
it
it because of
yeah.
this.
Yeah,
It looks
that
like we're
makes
extending it for that, but it just didn't seem to,
Is the lot line? I don't see.
well,
it.
right here, it's close.
It's terrible.
Okay.
Is it giving?
So
me- it's
3
not giving, I saw that.
Well, look at
So
this,
it's
this is
3
the
feet.
line.
You know what, I'm gonna
Right,
read
here's
these
the line.
and resubmit them.
That's 3 feet.
I'll resend them to Patrick.
But it's
because
bumped
they didn't-
out.
Like, there's a lot of, like the line weights didn't transfer well, and Auburn Document Center has done me no favors in the last couple of weeks on my printing. So
Well, once we give the motion. do you-
Yeah,
I
it
don't
won't,
think
it
we need to
really,
Okay,
do that.
I'd
Yeah.
like to have them on record at the
Yeah,
very
right.
least, so that the stuff that's supposed to be on there is on there, but.
Oh, here we go, this might. have
Oh,
the-
so
that one.
I see, so it's
So-
3 feet now, bumped out of 1 foot, so it's gonna be down to 2 and should be 15, that's why.
So here, frontage, minimum, side yard north. 15, it's existing 3.75, but he's saying
Yeah.
no
no
change.
change.
It's odd. But this is this proposal, and that could be Patrick's notes from the chimney.
Right,
Yeah, I think
Okay.
that's what he's saying.
Alright.
I think there's
Chimney
just
is-
a little bit
yeah.
of a tweak on that.
Yeah.
That,
Yeah,
that
we're
that
already-
does make sense now, though, because
375.
going out another foot. Yeah, right, okay,
I wouldn't
that's
get a
why-
very big riding mower to go through there.
yeah, you're gonna be tight.
You gonna push Mojo?
Sweep by hand.
You got good neighbors, though. Slide over it.
Anybody else have any additional questions? Anybody here to speak for or against? Let the record reflect there is not. Yeah, do we have a motion?
Yeah, I'm gonna add that, there's room around it, because there's barely room.
Nice looking,
It'll
nice looking
looks really
structure.
be our shortest meeting in a long, long time.
So I basically reading the original with a couple of tweaks, so it's really just.
Yeah,
I make a motion to grant a 13-foot north side yard area variance and a 6-foot south side yard area variance under section 150-1 of the code of the town of Owasco. I also make a motion to grant a building coverage variance to allow for 15% building coverage under the town of Owasco Town Code Table of Dimensional Requirements, section 150, paragraph 1, attachment 1 to Norm Implored for his property located at 103 Burtis Point Road, Owasco, New York. Tax map 138.03-2-12. These variances are to allow construction of additions and alterations to the residence, including a 2-story bedroom addition, 8 foot by 12 feet, a 2-story laundry and bedroom addition, which is 7 feet 6 inches by 10 feet, a 184 square foot west facing front covered porch addition, a 286 square foot south side covered porch addition, and a concrete patio measuring 9 feet deep, which is 28 feet 8 inches by 27 foot 7 inches, and a bumped out chimney on a 0.54 acre non-conforming lot. Although the hardship is self-created, the board finds the request to be reasonable due to the lot being a non-conforming lakefront lot located in the 100-year floodplain. It is reasonable for the applicants to want to scrap the house on the lot and add covered porches. In making this determination, the zoning board of appeals took into consideration the benefits the applicant has weighted against the health, safety, and welfare of the neighborhood. In doing so, we have determined the following. There will be no undesirable change in the character of the neighborhood. There is no one here to speak in favor or against this request. All neighbors were provided written notice. Is that true?
Yes.
I'll second that.
The board finds, I'm still going.
Yep, got it.
The board finds, I got a long ways to go. The board finds the applicant's request to put small additions to square up the house on the lot and construct covered porches to be reasonable. The variances are the minimum necessary for the newer structure. There will be no adverse impact on the physical or environmental conditions of the neighborhood. The new construction will be in line with the neighbor to the north, which has a similar covered porch. There is ample room under the structure for maintenance, around the structure for maintenance and drainage. Based on information and analysis of parts 1, 2, and 3, short environmental assessment form and supporting documentation, the board has determined that the proposed action will not result in any significant adverse environmental impacts. The proposed action will not create a material conflict. Do you want me to go through these? Because this is the environmental impact stuff.
Yeah, we don't have to go, we don't have to go through that. It's not gonna
Because
be
I
our-
did that, we did that last,
We,
so get rid of that.
yeah, we were the designated agency, but now it's going to planning. I think we're gonna do it. It's an exempt situation anyways.
Right, so you don't want me to cover any
You
of that?
don't have to bother.
All right, the applicant has signed the agricultural data statement. Should I leave that in?
We did sign.
Yes, I'm gonna leave that in.
Leave it.
The difficulty in this request is self-created since this is new construction, but a hardship exists because of the small size of the lakefront lot. It is reasonable for the applicant to desire covered porches.
I'll second.
Steve,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
Jim,
Yes.
Sean,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
and David.
Yes.
That was simple.
Yeah, you know, it's weird. I think we ended up, you know why? Because I think planning didn't want to be lead agency last time.
Right,
And
I
so
think
we,
went to them first.
yeah, but we ended up doing the seeker for whatever reason. I don't know why.
I think because we went to them first.
Oh,
and they
And
sent it off.
they sent it over to you.
oh,
guys.
is that what it is? They,
Yeah.
so they didn't want to do it and they dumped it on us. Okay.
Sometimes they happen.
Quickly processed and we you guys were wonderful the last time we came through too with them. And it was one of those where we had gone in backwards order because of meeting dates. or
The meeting dates.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember the sequence. I just remember doing it and what happens is planning really, to be honest, they don't like doing the seekers and so we end up doing them.
Fully understand.
But is that required on a residence? I thought it. was.
I thought this was an exam,
Well, there
I
is.
think a lot of
but I think they do it
Yeah.
for site plan, they did it for site plan review, right? That
We
was-
have to do all of the. storm-
Drainage,
But
yeah,
it
yeah.
was floodplains, so
Yeah.
I think that was why.
Yeah. That's, so thank you very,
You're good to go.
thank you very much for seeing
Yeah,
me
well-
after the fact.
Okay, well, thank you for rushing in like we. This is
One of
a
those
situation,
things.
yeah, it's just what you needed, right? Yeah.
Well, that was perfect. It gave me a reason to get out of the house.
There you
Well, very good.
Well, it looks like. a
Are,
great
are you living there now?
And no, I'm the architect on the project, so, we live up in Troop. And
So
so,
you hooked in,
yeah, I just came in quick.
Wow,
So,
oh
Wow.
my God. From,
that was very nice.
We're not that far. It's like 5 minutes outside of the city of Auburn. So
Yeah,
I just
just not too bad.
hopped right over. No big deal. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Much appreciated. Thank you for your
Bye-bye.
time.
Okay, bye now. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
I guess we got one item left. And
Annual
that,
meeting?
that, I guess we, I don't remember doing one last year.
I don't
You know
either.
what? I looked at the past and they weren't consistent even over the years.
Well,
Yeah,
I guess so technically, we're doing the annual meeting of the ZBA. The town appointed me as chair again.
They did,
I don't even know.
because they had their meeting before.
Yeah, well, because they have to do that, you know.
Right.
I nominate him.
Well, I guess we don't have to, we don't.
Yeah, what they usually do, like planning does this every year too. Zoning in the past did not do this.
Yeah,
And it was just to be consistent, you know, Ed and I talked and.
so we're basically acknowledging that
Right.
Jerry's being appointed as vice chair.
Correct.
And
Jimmy, what?
you,
You wanna be president?
and you are, this, the zoning board secretary,
at Josh
Lori,
Allen.
and
He's
Tom
got a-
Blair
he's
is
got a little
our
car on
special
his
counsel. We're designating the citizen, which I guess, to be honest with you, there's no other choice.
Do we have a penny saver anymore?
Right, it's the official newspaper, and then we have meeting date, these are our meeting dates, so I'll move that. We got a second?
I'll second it.
Steve?
So are we getting a copy of the meeting dates? Is that the idea?
No,
Oh,
why do you need a copy of the meeting? date?
no, I was just curious if that was where we're headed.
No.
It's in that packet.
Yeah, it was published in the newspaper. So this went in last week in the newspaper.
So, yeah,
It'll be.
so we're getting
fourth week.
it, we're getting it basically after the fact that everything's done, we're just.
So, because the way that your meeting fell. it
Yeah.
had to Be put in the paper by a certain
Yeah.
date.
That makes sense.
That, now, Mrs. or the architect here, I have to, first thing tomorrow morning, in order for her
I can't
to
believe,
get on planning. I have to make sure tomorrow that it gets to the newspaper because it's.
I
so
can't
close,
believe-
Because you guys bumped out the meeting.
Oh, we, the
bumped out.
January and
Yep.
February, we always have the.
because of the holidays, yeah.
Do we know what her name is?
Hmm?
Who woman who spoke?
She's the architect, Jill. Buda.
No, she's.
Yeah, I can't believe she flew in here.
Yeah.
That was.
She got here like a lickety split.
10 minutes.
Yeah, she had, actually, when she had come in with all the prints, she had planned on attending, so maybe something else had happened when we talked about it. So.
Yeah, well, Pat didn't say anything about it, I thought people were just coming in today.
I don't know if the Kurds live here right now.
Yeah, I thought the address
still
on one of
recording?
these things.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, I can turn it off.
Yeah, well, because this is our technical, did we do a vote on the annual meeting? We get a motion, a second. Aye.
Aye.
All right, that's it, and it's
So
for
moved.
your next meeting. We'll
Next
make it
meeting,
27th,
27,
not the Thursday,
provided
because of
there's,
the holiday.
we did get a application though, right?
You know what? They phoned today. I don't know who they are. I forget the name. Is it McTech? I can't remember the name. See, Patrick's gone. So the gentleman phoned today and I told him the deadline and he still hasn't. responded to Patrick. That's what I was told. So,
Contract up in Owasco.
oh, maybe that's it then. Yeah, I don't know. He just told me when he gets back on Thursday. He'll do that. He'll meet the deadline no matter what.
Yeah.
But Unless,
Well, Pat and I usually get together during the,
Right.
we couldn't this time, which was all messed up, because he and I will go to every site, and look at everything.
okay, so I put Sean and Mike down, maybe closing the meeting.
Yes,
Sounds good.
right, so moved.
We
So
can
moved.
Hang that up.
I feel a little disarray today. You see, tech wasn't working.
Well, this all recorded this time. But for whatever.
How long do those recordings last, by the way?
I don't know, but I.
You can Google it. We're there. I
I do
don't know.
want to.
We're not the
tell-
first Owasco though. I think there's somebody else.